Thank you for stopping by. It was nice seeing you again. You guys take care. Hello. I don't think I've ever seen you here before. And what is your name? Well, it's very nice to meet you. You can just call me Lore. May I ask, how did you hear about my shop? Well, down here in the Undertown, there's many different shops, some of which are hidden amongst many other types of buildings. And there's a lot of rare or unique items that could be found down here that are no longer available on the surface. I'm sure you'll visit many other types of shops as well as this one. Seeing as you found yourself here into my shop, I'm assuming you might be interested in what we're selling. People have different types of reactions to pot, and there's different types of pot. Some people will feel a euphoric sensation. Others may feel slightly more relaxed. And there's several other types of reactions one can have depending on the type of pot that they're given. Yes. You would like to see some of the pot that I have? Of course. Let me take a look here at what I have just beneath the counter. Well, first I should ask, is there any type of pot that you're specifically interested in? No, you're not sure? Let me give you a few samples of some of the pot that I have here, and you can start to get a feel for what it is you might be really looking for. Let's see. This is one of the types of pot that I have. Now, this type of pot is made of a substance called clay. If you're not familiar, clay is a type of material found on the surface, sometimes in different pockets as well, underground, near different sources of water. And these clay pots are usually used to store things such as liquids. Some can store goods. This one specifically is made to hold plant life, which is much rarer on the surface, where I presume you are from. Yeah, I could just tell. It's okay. You'll fit in soon enough down here. As you can see, there's this little hole down here. And there's an attachment to this pot. It's like a little tray that can go underneath the hole to contain different things that you put within it. But typically, you would take the plant life that you would like to display or use, and you would start with the soil and place it into here. You can see this is a used pot, and there's little stains of dark earth matter in there. And then once you go ahead and place your soil in there, you then put your seed or seedling or whatever else it is you're trying to grow, and you make sure it has water. And you want to make sure that that seedling gets some form of light that mimics sunlight. Direct sunlight might work, but as you know, after the war, the sunlight is a bit more intense these days, and most plant life can't really handle that. We do have some lights we could possibly sell to you in another neighboring store, or there's even a very kind older woman who has a shop just down the alley, and she sells different plant life, one of which being some lichen that glows and lets off a very, very calming aura, and that light is generally powerful enough to assist with plant growing for smaller plant life. Is this the type of pot that you might be interested in? You're unsure? Well, this is just one of the different pots that we have. Let me grab some more pot here. We'll see if another one might help. I just have to take it out of a bag I keep behind the counter here. Allow me a moment. I also have this pot here, and this is some pot that I made myself in combination with some of the other shopkeepers in the alley. In fact, one of them actually specializes in growing different herbs and spices, which used to be readily available on the surface prior to the Great Fall. As you can imagine, it's a lot harder to come by these types of things on your ground. But down here in Undertown, the people find a way. What's in this pot? Well, this pot has a blend of different things in it. I can't disclose all of it simply because of a few secret ingredients in here that, well, helps me stay ahead of the competitors. That said, I can tell you some of the main ingredients of this pot that help make up the acronym. First, you have paprika. Second, oregano. And third, the slightest hint of turmeric, which you could probably tell by the reddish color here. It's in there. Most of that is the paprika, though. Now, there are some other things in here that help create a more euphoric experience. Some things in here can only be made underground. And many users have said that it helps them see different things that aren't normally visible. Is it dangerous? No. You can use this recreationally, or you can use it to purposely expand your mind and body. Well, there's a few different ways that you could absorb this blend. By the way, I don't recommend taking it all in one sitting. It would be pretty overwhelming. But the way you can absorb this is, number one, you could pack it into a tight roll of paper and then smoke it like you would a cigar or a cigarette, which are not very common down here nowadays, but you could still find them here and there, especially on the surface. Now, you can also use this, due to the nature of the spices, as a good topping for several different foods. A few of the favorites down here in Undertown are giant mushroom steak or some dire beetle meat. If you're interested, they sell different cuts of dire beetle down at the farm when you leave the alley and you start going down the main avenue there. If you continue going downhill for about a mile or so, you'll see there's a little lakeside area, and there's a dire beetle farm right near there on the western side of the lake. You can't miss it. If you're somebody who doesn't like eating dire beetles, they also offer different rides as well. It's a good time for the kids. But yeah, you can put this on anything really. There's several different places down here that sell a variety of underground fish found in the lake and different little rivers that kind of snake through the corridors outside of town. Really, you're only limited by your imagination. Would you like to smell it or sample some of it? Here. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, just gonna inhale. It smells good, right? There you go. Yeah, I know it's strong. Okay. So are you interested in purchasing this pot? Does it give you the sort of reaction you might be looking for? Maybe some tingly feelings? Oh, why do I keep asking about tingles? It's a fair question. I forgot. You surface dwellers tend not to know these things. No, I meant no offense. I merely mean to help expand your knowledge of our way of living. Well, you see, ever since the Great Fall on the surface, the people of Undertown and the other civilizations scattered about underground. And I know this is going to sound a little bit strange, but we began to feel a sort of magic, if you will. Obviously, magic isn't real. I don't think so. But there is some sort of strange feeling, a call of nature, if you will, from deep underground through the vast empty tunnels and caverns that lead deeper than any human or otherwise has delved before that we know of. It's some sort of a calling. And us undergrounders can can now sense different vibrations, not just in the atmosphere around us, but also within different things. And we become more sensitive to them. So, for example, the crinkling of a bag might generate a feeling or sensation of tingles. How do you know? Well, on the back of your skull, right around the cervical spine, where the base of your skull meets your spine, if there's something that is responding to you, or you're picking up a different sensation from a particular item or thing, you start to generate a tingly sensation there at that meeting point between the spine and the skull. And then it will begin to usually race down your back. Now there's many theories as to what that means, but many of our undertone scholars believe that that feeling you're receiving from nature is your body adapting and becoming one with whatever it is that's giving you the tingles. I guess it's our way of reconnecting with our environment. These are just theories, of course. So, now that you had a sample of some of the pot that I have to offer, which would you be interested in? Okay. Yeah. Of course. No problem at all. I can get you that. Now, that would cost 5 cobbles. Oh, right. You're new here. A cobble is a unit of measurement down here in Undertown. What kind of currency do you have on you? I see. I'll tell you what. I'll take that surface cash from you. Only because it's a bit of a relic nowadays down here. And we'll call it even. So I have the pot here and the blend. I'll put them right there on the counter for you. And yes, I have that currency that you gave me. It's fancy, I'll give you that. Make sure, since you're new here, you stop down at the bank. Yeah, it's right by the Merchant Guild. You go down there and get yourself some exchange. Trade whatever type of surface currency you want over to them for some cobbles. Okay? Okay. And do make sure you stop in again. I have a variety of pots, and there's new ones being made and coming in all the time. And if you happen to find some pot out there, whether it be clay, ceramic, or even just an acronym for pot, or anything else in between, bring it to me. We'll see if we can make a trade happen, okay? Sounds great. Well, I'll see you around. Be safe out there. And if you return to the surface, I have a brother named Lore as well. Yeah. He lives in Grandtown. I'm sure he has some kind of hidden shop up there. So, if you happen to see him, tell him that